Hey, Tapp Brothers here from LearnMoreParkour.com with another Take Flight tutorial.
Yep, and today we're going to talk about one of the questions that we get asked the most, and that is, what type of clothing should you be wearing in parkour? Especially for beginners, this is a good thing to go over. So one of the first things that you want to look for in your clothing is comfort. So this is really up to you, whatever you're comfortable in, but primarily you're going with sweatpants and some type of loose-fitting shirt.
So basically you want to go with workout attire, things like that. And you want to avoid anything that's going to inhibit your full range of movement or your mobility, such as tight jeans, things like this.
Yeah, and just to give you a funny story about restrictive clothing, I was doing a little performance where we had to wear sport coats, and it was a jacket, but I didn't realize this, but it restricted my movement with my arms, so they could only go up this high. And I was supposed to do a backflip, which is free running, I guess, of course, but I was supposed to do a backflip, and in a backflip you're supposed to be able to launch your arms straight up. Well, I couldn't do that. So when I threw my arms up, because of that restriction on the jacket, I went about halfway up into my jump, and luckily I was able to rotate around and not just land on my neck, but I landed on all fours and looked like a complete dummy while doing that. But
yeah, so that will happen.
Yeah.
If you have the wrong clothing, especially when you're first starting out, and you're going for new movements you haven't done before, and you need the full range of movement. You need the full mobility so that you're not restricted. And if you're wearing tight clothes like that,
yeah, exactly.
That could happen.
So a quick test you can do when you pick up some clothes or something is to do a few kicks in them, sideways, frontwards, move your arms around, make sure you have movement and there's nothing catching or making it restrictive.
Should you wear sweatpants or should you wear shorts? Well, most people who train parkour wear sweatpants, and if you've seen most of the videos, they're all wearing sweatpants. And the reason why most people wear sweatpants is because, one, you're covering up more, so you have more protection, so you're not going to scrape yourself up. Two, it just looks better with movement. It looks more fluid when you're wearing sweatpants than when you're wearing shorts. And usually with sweatpants, the baggier, the better it looks. So that's why a lot of people are wearing these really baggy sweatpants.
But at the end of the day, it's all up to you. And I have seen a few of my friends actually pull off shorts pretty well. So it really just depends on your style that you're going for and what you like best. Another piece of clothing that I highly recommend are wristbands. And the reason for wearing wristbands is not only do they keep your hands sweat-free, so that way you don't slip, which could be very dangerous. Also, this part of your wrist here is very sensitive and doesn't really callus up. Also, you've probably heard before, slitting your wrist here, you don't want to do that. So when we're climbing over buildings, climbing up walls, if there's any nails sticking out or anything, and you happen to cut right there, it'd be very bad. Also, while you're first beginning, you're going to get scraped up a lot here. So just an easy thing to do, get some wristbands, thick, nice wristbands that go to about here, and have those with you for your training.
So what about gloves? Should you wear gloves? You might have seen a couple of videos with people wearing gloves. And just to let you know, the inside scoop, if you're wearing gloves in the parkour community, you are automatically looked at as either a noob or a beginner or someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. And that's just how it's been brought up. That's what happens when you're wearing gloves. And but as far as gloves being functional, only if it's cold or something, then I could see why you'd wear gloves. But the human hands are callus up pretty fast and build up really quickly. So there's really no need to wear gloves, and actually you don't have as much sensitivity, so when you're doing certain movements, having the gloves can actually inhibit what you're doing. So don't wear gloves, you don't need to, just slowly build them up as you're training.
So what brand of clothing should you choose? Well, of course, hands down, Take Flight all the way. You got cool logos, you got cool designs and everything, good quality, but on top of that, it's endorsed by David Bell, the founder of parkour.
You can't get any more legit than that.
Yeah, and then, well, we are going to take it a little more legit.
Yeah.
They sponsor guys like us, so it's really cool. They help out the parkour community by sponsoring people like us to do what we do. So, but,
Yeah, all bias aside, whatever clothing you do, we just recommend that you go with a parkour brand. So you're constantly supporting the movement, you're constantly supporting your favorite parkour groups and things like that, and stay away from the
mainstream stuff. Remember, clothes are just clothes. If you buy the coolest shirt on the planet, it's not going to make you into an awesome parkour athlete. Only training is going to do that.
Well, unless you're wearing Take Flight gear.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
No, but Anyway, to recap, so just make sure, one, it's all about safety. So wearing, comfortable clothing that you can move around in. Make sure we highly recommend wristbands. Lose the gloves. You don't need to wear those. And so that's basically it. And if you want some Take Flight gear, go to the link in the description. It will take you directly to all their awesome clothing. Some people wonder about shoes. Shoes is such a big, video that we'd have to cover that we're gonna make our own separate video for that.
Yeah. So as always, train safe, and we'll see you in the next Take Flight tutorial.